But I think what I'll do is I'll turn him a little bit to the side here so we can see a little bit better, a nicer effect. Or I guess I could turn him the other way. What do you guys think? Which is better? I kind of like that. So what I'll do is I'll give you the carriage out on the right. And then the left carriage. Cross your fingers. Oh, this goes out. There we go. She's out. Okay, we're going to bring it back in and show you that the other one works nicely. I've got that one scripted. This is just one of the little bit of animations I have. A little bit longer. This one's more involved. He kind of moves around a little bit. Centers up, sucks it in. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other, turn them not that way, but the other. So we can see this one move a little bit better. I'll show you what I got going on with the left arm so far. Not quite as much. Bring the carriage out. I don't have any animations really set yet. Okay. Let me, because I know what's going to happen here. The personality generator is on, so things will start moving around when I don't want them to. So I will go back and basically this is kind of the way I'm going to be setting up my animations. I've got an animation script here where I can change things and move things around. This is just for the elbow right now. I've got to set up to change that to a 1, and that tells the script that the carriage is out and is safe to move. And up here we'll see I've got different positions listed, like the position variables are 1885 position full up, 2490, that's your center position. That's a crucial position there, because if that's not right, it won't suck in properly. In fact, I've got a sensor on there that tells me, a secondary sensor, that tells me that the arm is centered, and if that is not triggered, that arm won't suck in, which is kind of important because you don't want that arm up and have it sucked in. So 3000 is straight down. So right now I've got it at 3000. Got it 1. I should be able to run the script and hopefully the arm will move down. There you go. Or what did I say was up? Up is 1885. I should be able to run it on my script. And it goes straight up. Okay. Now, I don't have to put the center button in there because I've already got that scripted to when I change this to a 0, it'll automatically go to a different part of the script and the arm will come down center and the carriage will suck in if everything's right. There you go. And again, I've got an opto switch in here. Where the heck is it? Way back there. Right there. It's hard to see probably, but if that tooth in there isn't in line and breaking that opto switch, this thing will not suck in. Oh, my personality generator is going. Again, here is, you see it back there. This has got one too. Little finger right there in between that opto switch. If that's not lined up and breaking that beam, this arm will not come in no matter what that script tells it to do. So let me close this, and I'm going to move this bad boy to the other side over here. Move the left half position. Actually, what I'll do is I'll center it, because I don't want that arm bopping up and down and hitting Dr. Smith over there in the head. So let me center this, and we'll do it again, okay? Just to have a little bit of fun here. I'll move the carriage full out. And oop, there is a personality generator going again. Turn that thing off. I've got that personality generator trigger to come back on every time a script runs, so it's always on. I got it to pause when the scripts are running, and then come back on when the scripts are done. That's what you're seeing here. Because I don't want the personality generator moving when the arms are moving. Okay, what was I going to do? Okay. I was going to start up my arm movement script again. Change this. Remember, we got to change that to 201 so ever it works. And right now it's 3000, which was full down. Run the script. Down. I'll take it to 1885, should be full up. And if I want to just do some other position, like maybe halfway down between up and down, which is between up and center or down, let's go to 2800. And see what that does to us. Okay, that's about a little bit down past center. I'll take it to 1900 just for grins and see where that takes us. So I can pick any position I want. Or how about 2200? See there? Now remember 2490 was center, so let's go to 2400. Whoop, see what I did there? I got 22, what are you doing? So 2400. What's nice about the Kangaroo daughter board I have running on the Sabertooth that operates these, that controls these, is that I can set up my my hard limits and soft limits, so it will never go past where I have those set. So if I accidentally screw up like that and put some weird number in there, it'll go to the end of the Kangaroo's limits and stop. It won't go to where my stupid mistake wants it to go and really ruin things. So I got it set at 2400 now, and that's just a little bit above center. See how it's kind of up a little bit. For example, let's say, so I said 3000, what I was talking about before, those hard limits. 3000 is full down, right? So let's go 4000 and see what happens. So I got 4000, and I'll run the script. Now that should really take it down and hit its leg. but it goes down to the 3000 point, which is the hard limit, and it stops. Again, let's change this to a 30, which would be like hitting himself in the head. It just goes to that hard limit I have set in the Kangaroo, and that's it. Instead of 1885, I think that's about 1885 is what I said. So let's take, turn this to a 0. And that's, according to my script, it should take it to a different part of the script, center up, and suck in. And there it goes. Okay. And everything relaxes and shuts off. Now, what I'm going to do now is turn off the personality generator again. Because every time I run a script, it unpauses. So I'll pause it. And I am going to turn Mr. B9 here to the left, half turn, just to give us a better look at what I'm going to do. And there he is. Let me double check to make sure okay, everything's still paused. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn off the camera and get ready to take this arm off and mount it on a tripod so I can hopefully show you guys what I'm going to do. But it's really pretty easy the way I've got this set up. Remember, in the real world, I'll have a torso around this thing, so everything's going to have to be done through the armholes and the vent holes. And I actually can do that, believe it or not. First thing I want to do when I'm doing that is make sure the arms are fully extended. So again, what I'll do is I'll come in here into Easy Builder and run like the right arm. I'm working on the right arm here. Run the right arm full out like that. And then I have these little clips here that I'm going to mount under here like this. Sorry. And what that does, that'll give me a stop point, because later on I got to take those ropes off of here, these cords. This is Vectron, very powerful stuff. It'll never stretch, it'll never break. I can't even cut it with my pliers. But it's synthetic cable. But I need a stopping point so I can get this back exactly on in the right spot later on. It'll screw up all my settings and stuff, my stop points. So I'll have that run out. I'll have this clip on the bottom, and then I'll reach in through the armhole and I will unplug these Molex plugs here, and this Anderson pin here with the power. So those will all come off. That'll drop the controls and the power for the arm and the servos. And then I'll come up above here. I'll take these off, and this drops this guide arm out of the way and fold it forward. So then after that, what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll unscrew these screws here and drop this Vectron cord out of the way, both sides, and then this whole unit will slip right out. So the next thing I'll do is I'll come down, reach in through the armhole and take these bolts off here, and take this bolt off here and another one down there. And what that'll do, after I unplug the power and the encoder cable back there, this whole bottom chamber will drop down, and I believe it or not, I can take that right out of the vent if I turn it right. And then after that, all that's left to do is drop these turnbuckle stanchions here, one in the front and one in the back, that give it support from flopping around too much, and unpin those and reach in and undo these bolts here, and that clamp there, those two clamps, And then this whole front, this whole piece here will slide right out of the arm hole. It's really pretty easy. It sounds complicated. Yeah, it's kind of you got to be kind of a contortionist to get in there to do that. But it's actually pretty easy. So I'm going to put down the camera right now and hopefully set it up on a tripod and get some of this action for you guys. See you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see any of this, but at least you'll get to see what I have to do to get it off the robot. Now remember I said I had to move this in a little bit to be able to get this section on here, this stop on here, so I can get it evened up later. I want to put it back on. So I'm going to bring the arm in to the middle. Okay, that allows me some room to get this little stop on there. And this will be done now when the torso is on. This will all be outside the robot, so it'll be pretty easy to get to. It's because the torso will stop right about here, and this will all be sticking out. So again, this allows me to later on line up the carriage. I want to make sure that I have it on the stop so I can get it dead even lined up later on. Okay, that'll come off in a minute because I got to pull this whole thing off before later on. Okay, going to take it full out now again. And it's right up against there. Now I can shut the robot off. And that's really all I need power for. So I'm going to exit out of my Easy Builder. Turn off my computer. And then shut off the robot. Oh, you can see his arms already hanging down here. That's cool. That's fine. But what I want to do now is I can unplug these plugs. And I've got them opposite each other so I can never screw them up. They plug in each other, but they can't plug in wrong on the other side. You know, and then this plug here comes out. And remember, I'll be doing this from through the hole here. Do all that, so it's all got to be right here when I'm working. Now the next thing I do is I want to get this arm off of here. So I'll take these, loosen these up in here. Hopefully I've got the right tools. Yep. This will take the cable off, and this will be outside the torso, so it'll be relatively easy to get to. It's kind of tight. Got some extra stuff kind of up in here. I need to untie because it helps me, because the extra length helps me put it all back together later on. Gives me something to grab to make everything tight. Again, this is Vectron cable, synthetic cable. It's almost indestructible. It doesn't absorb moisture. You can't burn the stuff. It's crazy. can't even cut it. I gotta have a very sharp knife to cut it. So run this up as far as I can. I got one for the front, one for the back, each direction. Yeah, it's a little putz and around, but what do you expect from homemade stuff, huh? Okay, should pop out of here. Pop out of here. Everything's released and relaxing. Just drop this down. Pull this out the back. Like that. Now I've got my forward and reverse cables off. And I've got it up against the stop here, so I know that when I put it all back together, I'll have this run up against the stop again. And I'll put it all together, pull it tight, and all my stuff will be right. And all my settings will be right. So make sure I don't lose my tools here. I just take this off of here. I could probably have done this without this. And just have it on at the end and make sure everything's lined up with the end, but I like to have it just right. Because these are such close tolerances with everything. All my settings are right on there. Take that off. Set this aside. Now, I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to take it off the top up here. And this will actually be above everything. You take the collar off and the bubble off first, because the torsil's coming off anyway. And this is actually above the top shelf, so you can get at this really easy. Well, I can anyway. Just two bolts. And that drops straight down, lays forward. See how nice that is? Now this whole unit should slip right off of there. Like that. Okay, that slipped right out of the armhole. And the whole unit is being set aside here to the side. Now what we have left here is the cable that really needs to be pulled down through the holes. And I've got these Harkin dollies up here that the sailboat guys use, and they're sailing yachts, they're little RC sailing yachts. They're tough and they're beautifully built. And I've got some slack tensioners, I'm sorry, that I have built in here to keep the slack out as she goes back and forth. Works pretty sharp. You see that there? That's also got to come loose. So what I do now is I just tie a knot down here so I don't lose nothing. Keep it all nice and in the same position as she's coming off with. Coming out of, pardon my English. Okay, now pull power for that. This is a automatic car window opener motor, so that's all that is. It's nice and thin, powerful. And I reach back here and pull the plug for the encoder. There it is right there. Way back, it's attached to the shaft of this thing, so the Kangaroo and Sabertooth always know where this is at. That's how I can get my positioning in and out. Alright, now the next thing I do is simply take off these 4 bolts here and these 2 bolts here, and this whole motor shaver will drop down, and if I had it on the robot, I just turn it around to the side and drop it out the vent. Alright, let me find my screws. Here we go. And none of this is machined. I did all this by hand on the bandsaw and a drill press and a tap. The only thing I got machined on this whole robot was the elbow motor mount. And that had to be precise. If you see this back here, this piece back here, that's the only piece I had machined. And the brackets that go with it. Okay, where was I? Alright, so anyway, got those 4 off. I should have had a little container to hold these so I don't lose them. And now I will take off the two rear bolts. It's already starting to fall down. Again, remember, I'm going to be doing this through the armhole from the front up here. And I've done it many times, and it's really not that hard. You just have to reach through and make sure you can see what you're doing. It should be that tight. You're going to have to clean up those threads. Should be able to do that by hand. Again, this isn't a machine. This is all done by drill press and taps. And so there it is. Got that sucker out. Get this out. Oh, and there it is. Almost lost it. Came out so fast. Set that aside. I don't know if I had that in front of the camera or not, so I hope I did. Get all my nuts in one place. Alright, now the next thing I'm going to do is get the torsos on, reach up through the vent, and take these stanchions off. Kind of, they're turnbuckled, so I can adjust the height. So just take off a little bit of stress off of them. I've got them pre-loosened already, so usually I'm going to tighten them down with a bolt. So you can see now they're loose. Just pull the pin. And they drop right out, as you can see. Just little cotter keys and pins is all. And again, I can do all this through the vent, the lower vent. It drops right out. And it's nice, it's like I said, it's turnbuckled, so I can adjust the height and put tension on this if I need to. Alright, I'll set that aside. And now the only thing left to do to get this out of the way so I can get the torso off is take these 2 clamps off back here. Hopefully I have the right, yes, 1/2 inch, there we go. Won't be this easy because I'll be working through the armhole again, but again, it's a big hole. And I'll be just reaching in like this working. little spacer I made to give me the proper angle out. I didn't want my arms coming straight out like Frankenstein, so I made a little spacer in here to put a little angle on there. It looks pretty good. I'm working from the front here, kind of making believe I'm working through the armhole. I've gotten pretty good at working with one hand through little places. And then there's the back clamp. It just clamps around these stanchions here. A threaded rod. And then it just lifts up and out through the hole, and that's it. There's the bottom. I've got these little bolts here. They're like feeler gauges, so when the hole's drilled here, so when I put it back in through the hole, it drops into those holes. It goes right in the exact spot at the right height. So I got kind of pal nuts on there holding my angle up and down, and this lays right up against there with a spacer and bolt it all back together inside the torso. So there you are. There's my line tensioner. Hope you can see that. There's the rear tensioner that comes in. And there's just little pulleys on there. And this is a little dog bone pulley. Goes in and out. The Vectron cable goes in and out of that, and it keeps the tension on the line as she goes back and forth. Because when the pulley turns, you're going to have slack on one side, because it's just normal physics. When it turns the other way, it tightens up on that side and lets off on this side, so you're going to have slack over there. So this keeps the slack out of it and keeps it nice tight on the drum. So anyway, there it is. It's the one arm is off, and now I got to do the other arm, but I'm not going to put you through that torture. And that's pretty much how it's done. I think I'll make another video of putting the arms back in through the hole. Of course, it's going to be kind of boring because you won't see nothing but me standing on my head and sticking my foot out behind me just to keep balance so I don't fall over. So it's kind of a fun thing to watch, but it's not too hard. Okay, thanks for watching and your patience. I hope I didn't bore you and you enjoyed that. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.